Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's presentation of Argonauts Awoken. I am Mr. DMD, your DM here to lead you through our young recruits through our highly modified version of the 5th edition rule set for D&D. Pardon me one second. I have an app open that's now blocked my ability to see what I'm doing. Of course, that would happen right at the start of the stream. All right. Tonight we have another guest performer with us. They'll be playing Hannah, our Guild of the Medusa Guild captain, and she'll be playing another character that we'll be meeting later. In these instances, the guest performer will have some scripted elements and some elements they will be improvising and playing in character. There's a couple of other things I want to go through before we begin the actual plot tonight. First, we do have one thing I want to talk about for tonight and next week's streams. As these are Halloween themed streams, we're going to be dipping our toes into some more horror-based tropes, and as such, these episodes may not be for every audience member. Traditionally, our stream is very friendly, but these episodes will dip into something darker, being heavily inspired by It, Cthulhu, and the Saw films. As a general warning, if you have issues with bugs, tight spaces, drowning, or dark psychological horror, including blood and fear, these stories may not be for you. That being said, at the end of them, we will provide a family-friendly summary of the events that happened in these episodes at the start of the episode next in 3 weeks. I also want to talk about one of our unique elements to this stream. Sorry, just want to make sure we're all good. And briefly explain one of the unique elements of our version of 5th edition, something we like to call the plot point system. If you've read the 5th edition Dungeons Master Guide, there's a kind of touch on this, and I want to explain it right now. As the start of today's session, every student has one plot point to spend, and they will get another one at the start of every semester their student is at Argonaut Academy. These are a very powerful tool, and they can be used to change just about anything within reason and discussion on stream. They can outright change a role. They can add an element to the space or story or remove one, as long as I agree that they are allowed to do it. And we may negotiate things depending on what they want to do. I mention this because we are now in book 1 officially, and the plot points are in play. So without any further ado, let's begin. It is late October, and the school is abuzz with excitement for the upcoming holidays. Spooky decorations hang in the dining hall, and each guild has decorated their guild halls in their own unique styles. Flump Hall, which we haven't seen yet, is an area around the barn, stables, and greenhouse, and it has been decorated with scarecrows and all sorts of different shaped monsters, including traditional ones like werewolves and others more true to some of the stories of Terra's ancestors, including a depiction of an old woman standing off against a giant bird that is made of real feathers. The dragons have built a trail of trials to even get to their guild hall, full of jump scares and grotesquely realistic looking battle wounds. The Medusas have taken to playing classic scary and spooky songs about camp while they walk, and the sneakier ones have been playing pranks involving placing spooky notes inside people's pockets. Meanwhile, the Sphinxes have held nightly tellings of different scary stories, some originally written by members, and others have been researched from various world mythologies and histories. Lastly, the Guild of the Lich outwardly has done little to prepare for the holiday, but in their guild hall, their laboratories have been abuzz with reanimations and grotesque tributes to Frankenstein, none of which leave the guild floor. Among all of this, you have just come off a week of midterm assessments for your first grading period. Let's check in and see how everyone is doing. Zamora, when we left you with Jade, you had yet to decide your path that you were going to study. And there were hints that you may have connections to divine magic. So working with Jade, what path did you decide to study?
Honestly, nothing that Jade told me was kind of interesting, because I'm not the type of person that kind of follows what someone says. So Jade and I, mostly I, decided that I'm not going to look towards a divine power. I'm going to look towards myself, because honestly, at the end of the day, that's all I need is myself. It's gotten me this far.
And how successful have you been using yourself in the divine within?
It was kind of hard at first, to be honest, because I don't really know what's going on. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it.
And so you're, like all students at the school, taking a full course load. Can you tell us what is one class you're currently taking that you are excelling in?
Oh, definitely reading bards, how to tell if they're lying to you. Um, Growing up, I had to tell if people were lying to me. So this class is an absolute breeze.
Nice, fun. And what are you not excelling in? What course is very challenging for you?
Um, True History 101. Everything you know is wrong. Yeah, that class is so boring. Like no shade, no shade towards Ricketti, but that class is a snore fest.
Wonderful. And currently, you're a quarter into your school. What is your favorite part of your training?
Definitely realizing I have a lot more power than I thought I did. Like having all this potential and the cool weapons, like it's just so much fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to Alaya. You have had to adjust to a dramatic appearance shift. In your
Yeah.
time since your awakening, you have grown no hair on the top of your head, but your facial hair grows at a rate that in about a day, you have what the average person takes to grow in 6 months. If you shave it in the morning, are you shaving daily or have you just kind of given up on that?
I really tried for a while. I'm still trying a good bit. Um, on a bad day, I'll probably just let it go out. But I do try to keep it at least a bit trimmed. It was really sad to see my head hair go.
You do notice that when you let it grow, it does kind of naturally stop at a like very Viking feeling length, and then tapers off. It doesn't kind of grow at that same very fast speed at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to, go ahead.
I have considered wigs. I've considered it. I don't think they look too good, but I don't know. Maybe something magical I'll try.
What did you and Jade decide your path was going to be?
We decided that I would try to enhance my powers more, my air controlling abilities. And still have not figured out who my dad is, but we're working on that. And I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna try to see if Ricketti might know, because he's our history teacher. So
Yes. Perfect. So what class are you currently doing well in? What are you excelling at?
I'm doing pretty good in my I'm doing pretty good in my how to make friends and influence people without really trying. Because I mean, I feel like I'm already a natural at that. It's so much fun to get people to do what you want them to do. And I don't know, it's just been a great time there.
Wonderful. And so we're not all perfect or great at everything. What are you currently being challenged at on your course load?
Oh my gosh. In my what's it called? Connecting to creatures of the land. They don't connect to me. They don't listen to me. These stupid animals. Like I have a bird, but that's a bird. I don't have to touch that thing. And I don't know. It's just been a struggle, and honestly, because of that, it's so boring.
Wonderful. And what has been your favorite part of your training so far?
Oh, unlocking new abilities and seeing my true potential, seeing what I can do. It's been great.
Cool. Thank you, Alaya. Luke, you too have had quite a physical change, but one less dramatic than Alaya's glowing eyes and growing hair. But do fight that demon of rage within yourself. How has that been going, your barbarian path?
It has definitely been really interesting. I feel like I don't know. I always considered myself a really like chill, laid back kind of guy. But the more the days kind of pass, the more that I feel like it's just kind of like a front that I'm putting up. I don't mean to, but it's just I feel like that all the time, and it's hard to deal with sometimes. But yeah.
Have you found anyone you can share that with yet that's helping you?
Well, obviously, I think Farag is always the guy that understands it best. But a couple other people in my guild also kind of share the same feelings as me.
When looking at your course load, what are you currently excelling at, Luke?
Well, the class that I feel most myself in would probably be Intro to Weapons for Fighters and Barbarians. It just feels like an outlet for all of the like pent up emotion that I have inside all the time.
What weapon have you connected with most in your training?
I tried a lot of different things, but in the end, I kind of just ended up going for the one that I grabbed on instinct on that very first day, which would be a great axe.
Nice, big old double-sided hack it off axe. I love it.
Oh yeah.
What are you having trouble in right now in school?
Look, I really tried to get history, right? History 101, everything you know is wrong. I feel like I walk into that class and as soon as I leave it, I still think everything I know is wrong because I've jumbled it all up in my brain. But I did learn how to spell Pangea.
Awesome. That is a first step. All right. What is your favorite part of your training been?
I think probably all of the fighting stuff that I've gotten to do. Anything that doesn't require me to like sit down in a class and like, I don't know, read a book or something. Like anything that allows me to go outside and kind of be myself is what I like the best.
Wonderful. Thank you. Luna, after a few months as a sea elf, people have actually begun to notice your differences. At first glance, sea elves are very similar to other elves, and you're often considered just another elf. And yet, as time has gone by, people have noticed some of the more subtle similarities. Things like if you were to wear your hair back, a few people have caught your gills, and just some of the other kind of subtle differences. In addition to this, you are also training with Tara to be a druid. How is that going?
Learning to be a druid is great, actually. I mean, I never really got the whole magic thing, but I've been able to connect it to nature, and nature is something I know very well. So it's actually been pretty good, and I think that Tara is someone I can trust now.
Awesome. What are you currently excelling at?
I'm great at mostly Tara's classes, especially the nature classes, obviously. I mean, I love learning about that stuff and I know a lot about it.
And what course right now are you struggling in?
I think it's the same as everyone else. The true history 101, everything you know is wrong. Listen, Raketi seems like a very knowledgeable person, and I absolutely love having all kinds of debates with them in class. We talk a lot. We argue. Maybe we argue a lot. Part of me thinks, okay, maybe this makes sense. Maybe it's worth being open-minded. And then they go and say that Pangea was split by a magic spell, and I just lose all respect for this school. I just cannot. And they don't like my long, rambling essays about how everything in the textbook is wrong. And I just can't accept that class.
It is very understandable. In fact, I'm sure that you're not the only student on campus. I know for a fact you're not the only student on campus dealing with that. Thank you for sharing. Moon, life as a gnome has been interesting. You have discovered that your fellow gnome students, who are all rather chipper and refer to themselves as family, have welcomed you with open arms. Many have shared their stories of their struggles with their changes. And one even shared that before his transition, he was a star basketball player on his junior high team and has been struggling with that. How does it feel to have these people attempt to welcome you into their family?
It feels nice. It feels very accepting. I've kind of, I guess I've gotten over the fact that I'm short now, but, you live and you learn.
How is training with Tara and Poison to be a companion warlock going?
It's going amazing. Again, excusing the fact that I had to turn into a gnome to get to this point, but I feel a lot more connected to poison, and it's cool. I feel like I am unlocking something about myself I didn't know I had.
Cool. And what course are you doing very well in right now?
Oh, easy. I am doing outstanding in animal handling. Handling. Yeah, I'm doing outstanding. Connecting with the creatures of the land. I got that. It's such a breeze. It's like I know all the answers off the top of my head. It's a very quick and easy class.
That's very exciting. What class are you not doing so well in right now?
I took investigation, how to find something you've lost, because I thought it was going to be easy, because, everyone always tells me, hey, Moon, are you the person who put off that Ocean's 11 type heist with a bunch of females? And I was like, yeah, I did. But no, this is, this class is really hard. And you realize that you can't do a lot of things on your own. And I had my group of girls help me pull off that heist that I really shouldn't be talking about, but it was pretty awesome. But yeah, it's bad. I'm doing real bad in that class, surprisingly, but it's bad.
I'm confident that you'll figure it out. As most of you, I'm confident will eventually figure it out or fail. So Stevie, let's talk about how you've been made part of the Guild of the Lich and have learned just how unique this guild is. Much of the guild members are very absorbed in their own studies and leave little time for socialization. Aside from a few unique clerics and sorcerers in the guild and Reaper, most of your guildies are all almost constantly locked in their rooms or their labs. How are you handling this?
There's a part of me that's a little sad about it, because obviously I want to make friends and make those connections, but also I'm also locking myself in my room and absorbing myself in my studies. That's just easier.
So when Rad eventually met with you to design your training, what was your decision?
I decided to follow a technomancy path. Naturally, being in Rad's Arcana class, I have learned a couple necromancy spells, which aren't my favorite thing, but I've been going with my technology.
Wonderful, which means that you've actually been handed off to Lex and Xander, the twins, and they've been helping you with your training. How have you felt working with them?
I think it's a little weird that students are teaching a class. No one has explained to me why that is, but it's going well. I'm doing really good in that class.
Awesome. So is that the class you're excelling in, or is there a different course?
No, that's definitely the class I'm excelling in.
Fun. And what class are you currently the most challenged in?
I'm really challenged in intro to weapons for fighters and barbarians, because I am not a fighter or a barbarian. I know Luke said that he's told me before that it's a good outlet for his pent up emotions, but lately that class has been giving me some pent up emotions.
Wonderful. Thank you. And what's your favorite part of your training?
I've really enjoyed being able to kind of be on my own and be independent and not worry about scrutiny from my parents or my old classmates. It's been nice to kind of come into myself, I guess.
Nice. Before we move forward, I want to make sure, Moon, did I ask you what your favorite part of your training was? I feel like I skipped that question.
Yeah, my favorite part of my training is just being with Poison more and being able to connect with her.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. So then let's begin. It is lunchtime on October 31st, All Hallows Eve, Halloween, if you will. And amidst the silly paper decorations of pumpkins and cartoonish ghosts, there is a buzz around the dining hall. Everyone seems to be talking about some rumor they've heard. You each enter the dining hall hungry and ready to eat. What are you doing?
I'll go first. So we're just coming out of our animal handling class, and I take a big old yawn. Just had a really good nap in there. I haven't realized what Moon has drawn on my face and my arms yet, but I'm just ready to go eat something and not have to think about animal handling.
Wonderful. Moon, how are you composing yourself, seeing as you apparently have gotten away with drawing all over Alaya?
I am very astounded by the fact that he hasn't noticed yet. I'm just waiting for the moment of realization when maybe just looks down at his hands. I'm surprised he hasn't expected me to do that yet, because I try to talk to him about Avatar every day in class, but he's always passed out. So yeah, I just thought I'd get him back for not wanting to talk to me.
That's fun. So what is everyone else doing? Where is everyone going to sit? I'm just trying to kind of establish where you are right now before we move into the next bit here.
As always, I'm grabbing like 3 plates of food. History always just makes me so tired. Like I'm usually a really energetic person, but that class really just tires my brain out. So just kind of like almost zombie-like with my platters of food, going to find a spot with my barbarian friends.
Wonderful.
I basically rush towards mine and Luna's spot because we've been bonding, and I sit next to her and I'm like, dude, look. And I kind of point towards Alaya, and I kind of brag about what I did, because it's been sort of a, are you going to do it, you won't kind of situation. So Luna's very surprised that I actually gave in and did it. So we're kind of not talking bad about Alaya behind his back, but we're kind of pointing and laughing.
I'm trying not to stare at Alaya. I watched lots of Avatar with my brothers, and it's just so funny how this, like, it's just uncanny, the similarity that Alaya has to Aang. We had to.
I love it. What's everyone else doing right now as you get settled for lunch?
I spent the last period in the nurse, because during my weapons class earlier, my armor class earlier, Luke was punching me to test my armor. My armor wasn't very good. I was very hurt. My ribs hurt so much. So I was iced up in the nurse, and I was wobbling back to lunch, because lunch is my favorite period. And I'm looking around for Alaya, because we usually sit next to each other, and I see this tall dude looking like the Avatar, and I am buckled over laughing. Like, my ribs are in so much pain. Like, I just cannot.
I think too, as you see this and start laughing, other people are noticing it, and there's now a good chunk of the dining hall that is now laughing at Alaya.
I look around and I'm like, "What, guys?" And what?
And they all just start laughing more as you start talking.
Zamora, what? What is it? Why are they laughing?
You have. You're
What
so
the-
dumb if you didn't realize that.
I just woke up. You can't blame me.
Okay.
Who did this? No
I
one?
don't say a word. I just start laughing even harder.
Alaya, go ahead and roll me an insight check to see if you notice that Moon is the hardest laughing person in the room. And Moon, you can roll me a performance check to see if you can hide that you're the hardest laughing person in the room.
Well, I got a nat 20. So
unless Moon rolled a nat 20 also, which
I got a 4.
she has fallen off of her chair laughing so hard, and you clearly are like, that's the one. She sits next to me in class. It had to have been her.
Moon. I think about going over to have some words with her, but I don't have the energy to. So I walk over to where Moon and Zamora usually sit.
Stevie, what are you doing during all of this?
Oh, I haven't come in yet. I just got out of my technology class, and I'm definitely just kind of sitting in what I can only assume would be the computer lab, just like working. I'll come in at like the end of this, like everyone's dying down, and I'm gonna grab like one slice of pizza, and then I'm gonna go sit next to Luke because I've been helping tutor him in history.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I finally start picking up on the fact that everyone around me is like laughing, and at first I think it's me because I'm like, oh, they're gonna laugh at like the tall oafish dude. But then I turn and I see Elia. And then I turn away instantly so that I don't make eye contact with Elia, because he might think it's me.
Perfect. As you all settle into your meal now after the hilarity has ensued, the room is still abuzz with general energy. Go ahead and roll me a perception check if you hear or notice anything. Wonderful. And just if you could either wave at me or let us know if you rolled a 5 or below. Okay, so Luna, with your 5 or below, you are going to definitely notice that there's a buzz about the room, but you can't really pick anything out. You're more kind of just focused on eating your lunch and talking to Moon. Anybody roll between a 6 and a 10? Ooh, just jump right over that then. How about between a 10 and a 15? Perfect. Moon, Zamora, and Luke, you are going to overhear something kind of in the away from where you're sitting, but you just kind of on the wind, for lack of a better way of putting it, overhear something about the curfew being lifted for tonight. Anybody roll between a 15 and a 20? Stevie, perfect. Either of you roll a crit. Stevie's going to get all the info. But Elia, you will get, you hear something about a trick-or-treating tradition on the wind. And then Stevie, you happened to sit very close to Pierre as you're helping Luke at the dragon table. And you overhear him talking to an 8th year about how they just got information about out of a meeting with Henata that said that she will be lifting the curfew and letting all the students perform their traditional trick-or-treating duties tonight. What do all of you do with this information? Go ahead, Stevie.
I'm going to take the piece of paper that I've been like helping Luke with history on, and I'm going to write all of this information on it and like show it to him because I don't want them to know I'm listening. But now I'm absolutely listening, but I need to like relay this to Luke. So I just kind of like write it down and slide it over.
I kind of take a look at it, and I forget the fact that Stevie wanted to keep this a secret, and I instantly just go, "We're going trick-or-treating!"
And I think as you say this, the rest of the room starts shouting this too. Like, you have now caused a wave of shouting and excitement in the room. And
I'm just like bright red with my head down, just like I'm just...
Luke, about as subtle as a 2x4. So at this, you hear from the front of the room, and Henata stands up. And she says, "My, there is a lot of buzz going on this lunch. It seems as if my guild captains may not have kept their secrets as best as we had hoped. Well, shall I make it official then?" How do you react when she says this? Lots of like nods, cheers.
This is interesting. Like, I didn't know anything, but now I'm interested.
No, you don't know anything. You just know that she stood up and said this. From about the room, the guild captains that you may see near you all kind of nod their heads, and she continues, "Tonight, in honor of the holiday and our responsibility to our community, I will be lifting the curfew and sending you all out to trick or treat." There is a roar of cheers and applause and general happiness. Henata smiles and waits a fair amount of time and then does her double clap again, which the school quickly responds back to. Do you all join in? Seeing nods from everyone. Wonderful. Perfect. She says, "However, this does come with a few caveats. You go out not just for fun tonight, but to protect our home, as is the duty of one who is awoken. We must protect those who cannot and do not understand the world beyond the veil. While I am not thrilled by this choice, the faculty and I have agreed that it must be done. I will let Leader Ricchetti explain the Halloween tradition." As you hear this announcement, what are you all thinking? Let's start with Stevie and then go to Luke, who have spilled the beans. Stevie?
I'm still so embarrassed that I told Luke because I'm like, oh gosh, everyone's going to be looking at me now. But also, I'm so excited. Halloween is my favorite holiday. It was like the one night a year I was allowed to leave my parents' watch for a bit. So I'm very excited to see how much I like it now that I'm completely on my own.
Luke, what are you thinking?
I kind of pick up on the fact that Stevie's put her head down on the table, and I mistake this as her being like not as excited as I am about Halloween. So I kind of lean over and I go, dude, don't worry. You don't even know how much Halloween candy I can carry.
Oh, you don't know how much I can carry.
Let's go to Moon and Luna, who are sitting together. Luna, what are you thinking?
Am I just blank? Oh yes. This is kind of exciting, but also I'm confused as to why we would need to protect other people. But it's nice because usually when I go trick-or-treating, I basically have to babysit all my brothers. But it's fun. I like coming along with them. You know, they usually eat all my candy, but it's fine. But I'm glad I might be able to have some to myself now. That'd be nice.
Moon, what are you thinking?
I absolutely love Halloween, so I'm very excited. I'm hopefully Luna's up to it. I don't know. I've been friends with Luna for a bit, but sometimes she gets upset at the most random things. So I want to ask if she wants to join me along this journey, but I'm also scared that she's going to be like, no, I hate trick-or-treating because it does XYZ to the pollution in the air. So I'm kind of like, I'm hiding my excitement, but I am very excited.
For the record, I don't like how much waste that Halloween produces, but it's fun. You know, it's probably just my brother's enthusiasm about the holiday that rubs off on me.
Thank you. Elia and Zamora, we know are sitting together at the Guild of Medusa. What are you feeling right now, Zamora?
I don't get me wrong, I am so excited. I love Halloween, but part of me, like a wave of homesickness rushes over me because usually on Halloween I spend it with the other girls at the home. I usually get them a lot of candy because you know those take one baskets. It's a suggestion, so I usually take the whole bucket and go. I'm gonna still do that though. Don't get it wrong. I'm still do that, but it's gonna be different without the little girls there.
And Elia, what are you thinking right now?
You know, I never really liked Halloween that much. I don't really care, but I mean, if we're going to be forced to go out, I might take some candy from people passing by.
Wonderful. As you're all thinking this, Raketu rises and adjusts their blue and gold tie and speaks in a very solid and firm tone. Since the veil was lifted, those creatures of darkness have historically used holidays like Halloween and others as an opportunity to run free under the guise of the festivities. As a school, we have always ventured down the mountain to protect the veiled from the dangers this presents. Since the invention of the school, we have become less and less necessary, as the creatures of darkness have learned that this area is protected. After the events of this summer, we fear that there will not be the quietest Halloween, and as such are sending you out prepared. You are all going, for even the greenest first year has a duty to be the wall of light between the veiled and the darkness. Your team assignments are posted in the lobby windows, and your team captains will be out on the deck awaiting you to give you further instructions. You are dismissed. What's everyone doing?
Oh my God, I have to work with people.
I better get to take my great axe out there.
Anyone else?
I'm just thinking, who am I going to be put in a group with? They better be good. And it better not be Moon.
And I'm thinking, I don't care who I'm in a group with, but if it's with Elia, I know for a fact I'm just going to make fun of him the whole time.
Fun.
I'm just stuffing my face with as much food as I can before we have to leave. And I'm like thinking like groups, I really don't like people, but it's whatever.
I just want to know if we're choosing our groups. because I don't know if I want to be fair to certain people. But
Well,
I'd love to be with Moon if I could.
Yeah, he's made it clear your groups have been chosen for you. You have to go check the windows for your
Ah,
assignment.
dang it. I don't trust the teachers.
It's going to be problematic. All right. So anybody else that I haven't gotten to that hasn't shared? I think that covers everybody. Perfect. You make your way to the lobby after finishing your meal, and the couches and other elements that usually make this space feel rather homey have been moved out to the edges around or out of the way entirely. And around the windows and pillars and walls are all several sheets of paper posted. You're used to this procedure by this point and know that you are to seek out your post that consists of all the first-year names. So you make your way to the window opposite the doors of the dining hall and find that most of the first years are all standing around this. As you stand around waiting to see the lists, how are you waiting? Is anyone waiting patiently? Is anyone pushing to the front? What are you doing?
I'm pushing to the front, man. I gotta know which horrible people am I paired with. Who am I gonna have to tolerate? Just come on. I need to get this over with.
Perfect. Luna pushes all the way up to the front, and you see the list, and you can see that you have been assigned to a group that consists of all of the people sitting here as the stream. It just makes sense. I'm not going to split you all up. There's a little metagaming going on there right now. But you have been assigned to your captain, and your captain is Hannah. And it is noted that she is waiting outside for you on the steps to the guild hall. You make your way outside and find Hannah. She is standing at the bottom of the stairs, and as you approach, she says,
"Okay, here's our mission for the evening. You are all to pose as trick-or-treaters out on the town. You will dress in costumes, collect candy, the whole bit. Your costumes, however, must allow you to perform as best you can with your given abilities and training. This means your costume should include or account for armor and weapons. You will have full access to the armory and may check out anything that you are trained in that is not a firearm. There will be no guns on the patrol this evening. I'll be escorting you and providing you backup with a direct link to our instructors should anything get extremely foobar. We've been assigned the northern area of Incline Village, a rather suburban area with few off the beaten path houses. There have been no incidents on this route in over a decade, so this should be a milk run. Stay smart, stay sharp, and stay close, and we should have a pretty decent night. Any questions?"
She just threw a ton of information at you and did not give you any time to get ready. Do you have questions?
So I can bring my axe or no?
Yes, you can bring your axe. You can bring anything other than a firearm.
Awesome.
Can I bring my knives so I can?
You can bring anything other than a firearm.
Can Elias stay in his, what I think is an Aang costume? Can he stay in that?
Yes, it's Aang.
He better. I worked
Has to
very
pass as a
hard.
Halloween costume.
It works. Whatever.
Are we going trick-or-treating or are we going patrolling? Because I'm kind of
We're
confused on that part.
patrolling.
I will clarify. It's a combination of both. You are patrolling as trick-or-treaters. So you get to trick-or-treat, but you also have to make sure that the area is safe. Any other questions?
You said the suburbs, right? They always have the best candy.
I think that's a great segue, actually. As you say that, Hannah looks at her watch and then says, "You're muted, Hannah." Hannah? You're still, oh dear. Can I unmute for her? There you go.
1,300 hours. You have till 1,700 to prepare, and we will meet back here to catch our ride. You know where to requisition your gear, and if you need anything else, I'll be here for about half an hour. You're all dismissed.
And Hannah straight kind of dismisses you. Where is everyone going, and what costumes are you going to build? Let's start with Luna.
I know exactly what I'm going to be. So, Halloween's great, but I need to raise awareness for the amount of waste that it generates. And I mean, my brothers will complain all they like, but my costumes usually always make a statement. So I'm going to be dressed up as the great garbage patch because, yeah, I'm just a bunch of trash. It's extremely important.
I think also, I have to double check, but you are allowed to wear medium armor. I think if you spend the time on it, your garbage armor can actually serve as armor. Like, I'm going to say that it will serve as armor for the purpose of your AC when we get into that, because you're going to want to know that.
Wait, I need to show off my hat.
When we get to the break, remind me and I'll fill that out.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's continue then with Moon. What are you preparing for your Halloween costume?
I'm gonna be a bat. I came up with this very last minute, but I just decided I was gonna be a bat because they're cool.
And I think you, what you also managed to do is make this bat costume kind of out of what you would normally wear when training. Like, this is just black leather armor with fake black wings. It looks like you threw it together, but I think it works. Cool. Let's take a look then at Stevie. What are you doing for your costume?
So I'm gonna be a vampire because I really like vampires. I think they're pretty spooky. And I don't have to wear any armor because I'm not in armor class, and I think I would simply collapse. So I've just found a cloak that someone else in my guild had, and I've put a little pocket into it for my tablet, and I'm good to go.
Wonderful. Alaya, what are you doing to prepare your costume?
I get back to my room, and I just I look at myself in the mirror, look at these arrows, and I'm just like, yeah, that works. And I the only thing that I do is I shave off my massive beard.
I love it. Do you grab any gear, requisition any weapons?
I'm gonna grab 2 daggers that I can hide under each side of my jacket that I always wear.
Cloak/jacket. Cool. Awesome. Zamora, what are you preparing for your costume?
I'm a cowgirl because I like meat and like chickens. I feel like cowgirls they wrangled. That'd be a chicken girl, but you know they wrangle.
How do you incorporate this design into the fact that if you wanted to work at the best of your ability, you need to be wearing some pretty intense armor?
I try to look for the thinnest looking armor and kind of put like the cow. You know how cowgirls have like the belts where the guns are supposed to go. I kind of stick my weapons in there that aren't firearms because we're not allowed to have firearms.
Nope.
And I'm like, and I put on boots, and then I'm ready to go.
Cool. I love it. Then let us end with Luke.
Okay, so I need something that's gonna match my axe for sure. So I kind of go digging around like my general guild space because there's always things laying around. And then I come up with this like old helmet that's like kind of dusty. No one's really used in a while. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be a Viking. That's so awesome.
That's awesome. I love it. So as a barbarian, you don't need armor, so it's perfect. What are you wearing aside from the Viking helmet? Are you going like full He-Man with like leather pants and no shirt? Are you going like full on like Celtic? What are you going?
I wasn't really thinking about it. I was pretty sure that I was just gonna go like dress like half-heartedly as a Viking and just go in like my street clothes.
Oh, you are still that teenager.
Everything else about my appearance is like pretty much, there except for my clothing. So it'll be fine. People will
Absolutely
know.
love it. Absolutely love it. As time winds down, you make your way back to the steps at the front of the lodge. A good number of minivans and SUVs of various types have been lined up in the parking lot. As you approach, Hannah is already waiting for you, and several other teams are congregating around the lodge deck. When you arrive, you notice Hannah's costume. It is a completely screen-accurate copy of Katniss Everdeen's Hunger Games outfit, complete with bow, arrows, and strapped to her leg, the only non-accurate bit, the old bayonet knife you saw her wield in the Battle of the Cabins. She is standing and talking with Reaper, who is dressed her black dragonborn frame in a full professor's outfit, complete with sweater vest and blazer with shoulder pads. Hannah is laughing as you approach.
You really are the biggest nerd of all time.
Her
Really?
laughter has her bent over, clutching her sides.
You're such a meme.
Reaper plays it cool and is trying to hide her own humor in the situation. Not at all. I thought it was quite witty. And what better way to not have to hide my true self without having to go as an actual dragon? Hannah notices you all and collects herself enough to stop laughing and says,
Ask them, then see if they get it.
Reaper smirks and looks at Stevie with a look that says, you know this, watch. Then says, fine, who am I for Halloween? And Reaper strikes a pose in profile, tilting her head up slightly and bringing one finger up and touching her chin and says, if Apple made a car, would it have windows?
Wait, so I as a person don't know who this is.
You can totally not know it. Does anybody recognize this costume as you approach? It's okay if you don't. If you think your character does.
I feel like my character would. I just don't.
Go for it, Moon.
Is it that one meme I think it is?
Yeah. Reaper is dressed as the Velociraptor. So as you notice or don't notice this, how do you react?
I've never had a lot of access to the internet, so I'm just like, what? What is that?
Stevie, now that you as a player know what it is and you know Stevie would know what it is, how do you react?
Oh, I love this costume so much. I'm on the internet just all the time. This is a very cool costume.
Very cool. Anybody else have comments on either of their costumes before we move on?
I go on the internet mostly for like activism stuff, so I do pick it up. I've seen it a couple times. Such a 2012 meme. God.
I see
So
people
old.
like starting to like react to the costume, but I don't really get it. But I'm just gonna pretend like I do. So I just kind of go, haha, yeah, I get it.
So good. All right. As you're all reacting to their costumes, Hannah takes a quick head count and then looks over your costumes very quickly. After a moment, she nods and says,
All right, looks like everything is in order. Reaper is going to drive us to our sector and will pick us up at midnight. Hannah has suspended classes tomorrow so everyone can patrol and get a good night's rest.
she looks the group over one more time and tells Reaper.
Better grab the Land Cruiser. We'll need space.
Reaper nods and walks over to a male half-orc in a gray jumpsuit and with a Michael Myers mask in his pocket, and who carries a clipboard with a massive keyring and has a conversation with him, and then begins to move to a black Land Cruiser while yelling to the group, "Okay, recruits, we're good to go." Hannah smiles and looks at you all and says,
You heard the philosopher. Into the car. Zamora, you'll want to take off your chest plate and store that in the trunk, or you're going to be very uncomfortable. And if you want, you can ride in the front seat. With all that armor, you'll appreciate the extra room.
She then looks at Luke and says,
Sorry, Stretch. The tanks get shotgun.
anybody have any reactions to the seating?
Dang it! Come on, I gotta stretch out my legs. Come on, do you see how tall I am?
I am so happy. I am living my life to the fullest right now. I hate the back seat. I'm in the front. I am in control. I got the aux.
Zamora, one other thing in all of this happiness to notice is that this is the first time since your awakening that she hasn't called you pre-K.
Our friendship is evolving. That makes me feel so happy because I've tried so hard to get her because we have like witty banter back and forth. So this shows that deep down she loves me.
So you all pile in and drive down the mountain, first out of the dark and dense woods that surround the academy, and then moving on and into the more common mountain roads. After about 30 minutes of driving, you begin to drive around streets that look almost like any common suburban neighborhood. Hannah and Reaper talk mostly business and strategy for the evening and exchange a few bits of casual chatter as you drive. You get some basic information by eavesdropping, mostly that this is being treated like a pretty standard Halloween, that no one expects anything out of the ordinary, and that if anything should happen, that Reaper would arrive to quickly help, along with at least one, possibly several teachers should the issue be big enough. All in all, by the casual and joking nature of their conversation and the wholesome feel of the mountain suburb celebrating the holiday, you feel safe and well prepared for an evening out on the mountain. Reaper pulls over to a street corner and you all begin to unload. Is there anyone going to help Zamora back into her armor? This is not an easy thing to put on armor of Zamora's class.
I got you, Zamora.
I think Luke's probably pretty good at this because even though he doesn't wear armor, he interacts with it a lot. So he's probably the best person to actually help you.
At first, I don't really want anyone's help because, like, I'm trained in this. I got this. It's only been a couple months, but I got this. But I'm struggling a lot. So I hesitantly, I'm just like, whatever, like, help me, I guess.
This is perfect. Luke, as you help her put her armor on, across the street, another car pulls over and several students climb out. Luke, you recognize Pierre in the group. Luna and Moon, you recognize the dark, wavy-haired girl from the first days, and now a dwarf after her awakening. Among the group are several students you don't recognize, and they're all being led by an older student that Stevie recognizes as a 7th-year elf wizard dressed as Gandalf the White, complete with wizard staff and sword. From across the street, Pierre waves a rather cheery wave at Luke. How do you respond?
Pierre, my man.
And he says, he kind of looks at you and just yells, good luck tonight, Luke.
You too, Pierre. I'll see you later, man.
Wonderful. Luna and Moon, you are in the same guild with this girl you see across the street. How do you feel about her at this point? You've had a few interactions with her. What are your thoughts, Luna and Moon?
Wait, I don't remember. Wait, is this the vegan girl?
This is the vegan girl.
The vegan girl. Okay. I don't know. I don't really like much of the flunk guild. I do respect that she's vegan. I like that, but at the same time, I feel like she forces her beliefs on other people a little bit. Like I saw what she did with Zamora. I don't know.
She's just one of those people where I kind of just bite my tongue and smile and wave. I don't interact with her. I don't agree with her actions, but it's one of those things where you just kind of have to smile and wave.
As all this is going on, Luke, in your ear, as if whispering from across the street, you hear Pierre's voice. He says, Luke, how are you tonight?
Has Pierre done this before, or is this like a new development?
He's not done this before, but you know of this spell. You've seen it used. It's a very common way to communicate across distances safely without being eavesdropped upon.
Oh, okay.
Or at least without both sides being heard.
Right. I wasn't anticipating this, but so I jump a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, okay. Do I whisper it back to him? Or?
All you have to do is talk. He's made the connection magically on his end.
Oh, okay. I kind of respond and I go, yeah, it's I feel pretty okay right now. You know, I'm with I guess people that I want to be my friends. So I'm kind of excited for that. I don't feel too angry. How are you, Pierre?
As well, I'm a little nervous. I mean, I don't know. They say we should be safe, but I'm only a second year. There's no way I could do anything against a real threat.
Well, you got all of us, man. Like nothing can get past all of us. And that whoever it was said that nothing has happened here for a long time, so it's going to be okay.
He says, yeah, I know. I was in the briefing with Hannah, and I know it's just, I never feel like I'm good enough anymore. Like, it's really hard. We've talked before. You know how hard it is being a second year and a guild captain for Dragon. Like, they give me such a hard time.
I know, Pierre, but you got this, man. You got to hang on.
And you kind of see him kind of puff his chest out a little and feel a little more confident. Like, you know, right? I think I can. I can get through tonight, Luke. Just take care of yourself. I don't want to see you get hurt.
You too. Stay safe.
During this whole interaction, I'm kind of just staring at Luke like, who are you talking to? Like, you're a weirdo, bro. Like, who are you talking to?
What? You can hear me? I thought. Oh,
do you know how mouths work? Yes, I can hear you. Like, what?
Okay, it's not what it looks like. Okay, I was having a conversation
with yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So you got your armor, right? You're okay and everything.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
With that, the group on the other side of the street begins to head in the opposite direction that you were all going, and Hannah says,
all right, group, shall we hit some houses? The other group is set up on the south side of the neighborhood working down the mountain, and we're marking out. Let's go.
Hannah slings the bow off her shoulder and begins to scan the area as Reaper honks the horn. Hey, girl on fire. Hannah gives Reaper a look and says,
yeah, Miss Professor.
Reaper says, be safe, okay? You need any help, you call. And she holds up her walkie-talkie radio. Don't be a hero tonight. Hannah smirks and says, with some attitude,
yes, mother.
Reaper laughs and says, fine, then may the odds be ever in your favor, and honks again as she drives away. Hannah yells back,
nerd,
and laughs as Reaper honks in response again while driving further into the distance. You begin to trick or treat. What is everyone's goals this evening?
Candy, as it should be.
Go ahead, Alana.
My goal is just get this over with. Maybe get some candy along the way. I want to go back. I just want to go to sleep.
Anybody else have goals, or are you just kind of along for the ride tonight?
Candy. And yeah, I'm talking to Moon. I'm glad we're in a group together. I don't know who these other guys are. I'm just talking to Moon.
I want to see how much candy I can get at the end of the night.
Luke?
I kind of see that Stevie's in my group, and I'm like, yo, Steve, you're in my group, dude. What's up?
Did you just call me Steve?
Yeah, like your name's Stevie, but like, that's like, I don't know, that's too much to say. Like, Steve is pretty cool. Because, like, we're friends, right?
We're friends?
I mean, if you want to be, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go get candy together?
Yeah.
Because you said you can carry a lot of candy, right?
I can. I got like a pillowcase and everything. Let's go.
So do I. Okay, let's go get candy.
Wow, you two are bad at this.
Steve?
Bad at what?
Your parents named you Steve?
My name is not Steve.
Okay.
You all begin to approach the first house as another group of trick-or-treaters pass you. A few small children all dressed as the Avengers. The house is very well lit. It's a little more than a log cabin style, typical of the area, but painted white with blue trim. There are decorations of tombstones and hands coming out of the ground, and cliched, spooky Halloween sounds coming from a speaker hidden in the yard. You ring the bell, and that's where we'll pause for our break. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the results of ringing that bell. Okay. I need to give... Breastplate, 14 plus 6. So you look back, having just ring the bell, down the path, and Hannah, being a fifth year and being too old for trick-or-treating, stands at the end of the sidewalk watching you all. And a sweet older woman answers the door, her hair long gone gray and face wrinkled with age, wearing a festive pumpkin sweater, and hands out candy to each of you. She comments on several of you wearing not much more than a hat or some haphazardly drawn makeup, and says, well, good to see everyone's trying so hard this year. She's a little salty, and then looks at Moon and says, I love your bat costume, dearie. It looks so good. She's generally very cheery and positive this evening as you get candy from her. And as you're about to leave, she stops and says, be safe out there. I hear there are all sorts of spooky things out and about tonight. And just as she's about to close the door, Stevie, roll a perception check for me.
Ten.
You hear, coming from the TV in her room, the distinctive sound of the 2020 TV show's opening sound. And on it you hear, tonight in the 2020 exclusive, an interview with Clara Blackwell, mother of Stevie Blackwell of the Blackwell kidnapping. We hear how the search is going 2 months after the girl disappeared.
People think I've been kidnapped?
Do you say this out loud?
I say it like, I kind of turn around and say it to the group. I don't want this lady to hear. I'm like...
Does anybody in the group react?
What?
Have we all heard this?
This is a great opportunity to ask Stevie, how much have you told these people about who you really are?
I have told them my last name. If they don't know what it relates to, I'm leaving it at that.
Is anybody in the group aware enough about American politics to know who Senator Blackwell is? He's the senator from Utah.
I don't know if I know a ton about senators from Utah, but I think I heard something about Senator Blackwell being a very strong climate denier.
Yes, he was definitely on a list you would have read at some point. And I think now you're making that connection.
I kind of look at Stevie and I'm like, wait, Stevie Blackwell is in like Senator Blackwell?
The one.
And you're starting to walk back towards Hannah as you're having this conversation. I want you to have it. I just don't want you to have it in front of the old lady.
Yes. I try not to go off in front of the old lady, but I just look at Stevie and I'm like, that's your father? Your relative? You know how he denies that climate change like completely exists. Surely you don't believe you don't agree with him.
I don't think I can name a single thing I agree with him on.
Well, that's good at least. Your father, I can't stand people who believe such things. They're doing so much damage to the planet. They don't understand.
You don't know the half of the damage he's done to the planet.
Gosh.
As you're having this conversation, you come up to the second house. So this is next door to the kindly old woman that you just met. And the house is dark with no porch light on, giving the clear sign that there is not any candy getting handed out here. As you approach this, Hannah takes a casual walk up to the house and disappears around the back of it. And after a few moments, she returns and tells the group that you can all move on. Everyone make a perception check for me. We're going to do this kind of like how we did the last one. At this point, if you had a 5 or less, please just give me a wave or raise a hand. Everybody's higher than a 5. That's exciting. 5 to 10. Stevie and Luna, you're going to notice that several groups of teenagers that all look like they're preparing for a little bit of mischief later this evening are kind of roaming the streets in packs. Anyone get a 15 to 10? 10 to 15 would be the proper way to say that. Nobody? Cool. Did anybody crit? Cool. And the rest of you would be that 15 to 20. As you look...
Moon said she crit.
Oh, Moon, you crit. I'm sorry. I didn't see the wave. My bad. So Moon will get a little bit more, but you all that get that 15 to 20 notice Hannah pull out a radio from her pocket and speak into it. You can make out that she's making some sort of report or check-in and then put it away. And Moon, with your crit, somewhere in the distance, you hear the sounds of screaming. At this point, you've been... Do you want to make a comment, Moon? You can. I mean, it's Halloween. People are screaming. No. You've been to a few houses at this point and done about a block's worth of patrolling. What do you intend to do next? You've gone for about a block.
My pillowcase of candy is not full yet. I'm going to keep trick-or-treating.
Perfect. And Hannah has a plan. So Hannah then says, as you continue... I can actually also throwing this one at you. Okay. That's okay. I'm going to drop it to you in chat right now, Hannah. There you go.
Orders you to patrol every street in our sector. We move on the next block.
And you all move on. You spend a good portion of the rest of the evening on your patrol, and aside from the random laughter and occasional screams in the distance that you'd expect on Halloween, there's nothing out of the ordinary that you notice. Hannah spends the night with her head on a swivel and constantly taut. As midnight creeps up, her adrenaline is fading, and you all can start to see that she clearly looks glad to be calling it a night soon. You make your way back to the pickup point, and the other team is not across the street from where they should be. Hannah reaches for her radio and calls.
Incline north to Lodge. Come in, Lodge.
You hear the static of the radio, and then it breaks, and Lex is on the other side, and you hear him say, this is Lodge. Go ahead, incline north.
I've got north team, and we're ready for pickup. Our sector is clear.
Lex responds, saying, copy that. Reaper is en route with an ETA of about 5 minutes. Over and out. Hannah pauses a moment, and you can see conflict wash over her face. Then she speaks again to the radio.
Lodge, this is us. Incline north again. We have no visual on incline south. What's their 20?
There's a pause, and Lex comes on again. Incline north. Hold for Lodge, actual. At this, Hannah's face goes blank and emotionless as she waits a voice on the radio. As you notice Hannah react this way, does anybody react? Elia, you're nodding.
Hey, are we good?
Hannah doesn't respond to this. She is locked in on the radio.
Hannah, is everything okay?
Where's Pierre?
As you're asking this... Oh, go ahead, Stevie. I'll let you finish.
I just said, what's going on?
As you're asking this, Hannah's voice comes over the radio. Incline north. This is Lodge Actual. Can you read? And it's all business. Yep. Go ahead, Hannah.
555 actual.
Hannah speaks clearly and matter-of-factly. The incline north. Switch to private frequency, please, and stand by. Hands shaking. Hannah turns a dial on the radio, and there's a squelch, and Hannah speaks again. Hannah, do you copy?
Yes, headmistress.
Hannah speaks firmly. Hannah, we are sending you Reaper to pick you up. This will get taken care of by some 8 years. Incline south has not reported in 2 hours. Reaper is headed to you now. Hannah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
With all due respect, ma'am, we can help. Where were they?
Hannah replies over the radio. Negative, Hannah. Their last known location was a mysterious house at the end of Ace Court. It is not safe to take your recruits. You will rendezvous with Reaper, and we will send a team out. Hannah sets her jaw and says,
10.4, ma'am. Tell Reaper I'll meet her at the house.
And before Hannah can answer, Hannah switches off her radio. You've now heard that a team has gone missing, and Hannah has decided that she is going to go help. What are your reactions?
All right, how do we get there?
Let's go.
Hannah, you can go ahead and go with your next line.
Your you're scared or worried, stay here. Reaper will pick you up. But I'm going to help our fellow Argonauts. Anyone else who wants to can follow me.
And Hannah heads down the street at a brisk jog, her eyes scanning the houses into the street. Who follows?
I'm coming.
I'm directly behind Hannah.
Absolutely all of you. Perfect. I'm glad.
This just got interesting.
After about 20 minutes moving at this pace, you come to Ace Court. It is a short dead end with two brightly lit houses near you on either side. And you stand looking toward the end of the road. Each of the houses on the side next to you are decorated with festive lights and decorations, and at the end of the road, however, is a very different house. This house looks like it was either extremely well decorated or has been abandoned for some time. It is at least 3 stories tall, but hard to tell as the top is hidden by the trees. 5 steps lead up to the front door and the porch. It is Victorian in style and was once painted a dark brown with green shutters and trim, but the paint is peeling all over, and the few remaining shutters are hanging off the window frames. A banner hangs across the front awning, framing the door, and on its white fabric, written in red paint, is the phrase, "Enter if you dare." Hannah holds out her hand to stop everyone and says,
I'll check it out. You all stay here and keep your eyes peeled.
"Are you listening to Hannah?"
No.
No.
I mean, it looks like just a haunted house, but I'm not listening, no.
You approach the steps, and Hannah holds out her hand to stop you from following her, clearly indicating she's going to be checking it for traps and making sure it's safe. She slowly moves, testing each step with the point of one of her arrows before stepping on it. She looks hard at the floor as she stands on the last step, and then looks over to the door from where she stands on this step. Finally, she looks over the arch. She's about to step under, checking several spots very methodically. You all recognize this as basic trap searching that you've been taught recently in one of your courses, and she takes quite a bit of time before stepping onto the porch. When she does, nothing happens. She takes a breath, feeling a little safer. She walks the 6 feet to the door even more slowly, testing each step with just her toe and letting her weight rest in parts before moving on to the next foot. Finally, she gets to the door. She takes the time to slowly check the frame for traps, then the handle. After a long moment, she seems satisfied and tries the door. The handle does nothing. She huffs. She turns around and faces you all, saying, Hannah faces you.
Check around.
There is a sudden click, and Hannah shrieks as the floor beneath her opens and she falls, and you hear a scream, and there's silence as you stare at where Hannah was.
Oh my god, that was a real trap.
Oh my god.
What?
The front door slowly opens, and you hear a voice inside say, "Do you want to play a game?"
I cast mage armor on myself.
Without hesitating, Stevie pulls out her tablet, types a couple quick buttons, and she begins to glow, just a gentle greenish, or not greenish, bluish glow over her body that slowly fades.
I'm gonna unsheath my axe, hold it in both hands, and go, look, buddy, we're not playing any games, okay?
There is no response from the house. The door stands open.
I'm gonna step forward a little bit more and say, "What do you want from us?"
How far are you moving?
I'm gonna put my right leg on the first doorstep.
There's no reaction from the house, and the doorstep does nothing.
Luna, you wanted to...
I cast Produce Flame.
So in your hand, you're now holding a small little ball of fire. What does this look like as you cast it, connecting to the magic around you?
Probably, is there like a garden? Is there like any nature?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of like dying shrubbery near you, yeah.
I try to connect to that. It's difficult, but I don't know, maybe I have like pressing hands to the ground or something.
And you manage, and the flame kind of comes slowly into your hand, growing kind of in spurts and sparks, but it's there. You've got this little ball of fire in your hand now. You do realize that you've now both, you and Stevie, have cast magic out in public view.
I just
It was just the light effect in the house.
Just
the house just
fire.
a cool light effect on me.
I'm gonna start taking more steps up the porch until I'm all the way on it.
Every step you take is fine. You feel no traps, no triggers, no nothing. The door stands wide open. You can begin to see into the house. What you can see is a house that is painted a clean, clear, perfectly white on the inside, and a long hallway. That's about all you can see.
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, listen, it's going to take them way too long to get in there. And clearly this thing wants us to play its game. So I think if we want Hannah back, we're going to have to go deal with it.
I walk all the way up to right before it was where Hannah fell. And I turn around to the rest of them and I say, I agree with Elia. We have to do something. Hannah, she was there for us since the beginning. We have to do something.
I don't like conforming with this magical stuff, but yeah, I agree. We should definitely help Hannah.
Anyone
I
else?
know that I'll do it for our guild captains, so I'll help Zamora and Elia.
Luke?
The more that I think about it, the angrier I kind of start to get about it.
You feel that demon pounding against the cage trying to get out.
I'm like, first it's Pierre, and now it's Hannah, who literally just fell into the ground.
Yeah, Pierre is missing. You all know this. Pierre and Iris are now both missing, and they've been connected to this house.
Yeah. So I think we should go in.
We have not heard yet anything from Moon.
I mean, I've seen a lot of horror movies. You know, my favorite horror movies are Scream and Saw. So Do You Want to Play a Game is very familiar to me. So I'm just I'm really scared, and it shows. So I'm kind of like speechless, and I'm basically the last person to move forward and agree with it because I can kind of see where this is going.
Come on, Moon. I hate to say it, but we need you.
Yeah, I kind of see that Moon is nervous, and I step back and I'm like, are you all right?
I mean, I don't know how much help I'm gonna be though. Like, I want to help, but I don't see my capability, so I'm very hesitant, and I'm just very nervous and struck.
You don't. I mean, as much as I want to go and help, I kind of tell her, you don't have to come in with us if you don't want to. I mean, we're first years. We technically said we shouldn't be doing this.
I give everyone a little pep talk, and I say that we wouldn't be in a group together if we didn't all bring something to the table. And I know it sucks. I know it's awkward, but we've been at this school for a while, and as we can tell, nothing here is normal. So we're going to suck it up, and we're going to go in there, and we're going to save Hannah and save everyone else, okay?
Hey, Luke. When Zamora was making fun of you for talking earlier, who were you talking to?
I do want to get that. Before we do that, though, I want to do just a couple of quick rewards here. Moon, I want to give you inspiration for playing your fear perfectly in character. And Luke, I want to give you inspiration for playing your rage. Continue.
Who were you talking to earlier when you were talking?
I was talking to Pierre, dude. But
PMD, would
now
Stevie
that I
have knowledge of the spell that was used?
It's a pretty basic spell. Even if you don't have it, you would have heard about it.
And now that you mention it, Pierre was talking about being scared a little bit of tonight. He didn't say anything specific, but he just sounded really nervous for some reason.
Can you still reach him by any chance?
I've never done the thing that he does before, but maybe
Stevie, you would
give
know
it a
that this is
try.
a, I'm sorry. Stevie, you would know that this is a short range spell. It's got a range of like 20, 30 feet. So it was something they were able to do from being able to see each other.
Cool. Do you think maybe he was so scared, maybe he knew something?
But if he had known something, he would have told me, I think.
I mean, maybe
Here's
not.
my buddy.
Years.
I don't know. Well, is everyone ready to go inside?
I am, but I look over to Moon again and I'm like, are you ready? Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm very hesitant about this, but I agree.
You all enter the house. It is clean, white, pristine. There's a long hallway down the center of the room, and there are 6 doors on the hallway, each with a number painted on it. And at the end of the hallway is a door with 6 locks. As you finish making your way into the house, the door behind you closes, but it does not lock. There is no door handle on this door. And while you don't see any way to open it, you do not feel as if you are locked in. There's just an innate charge on that. But it doesn't look like a typical house door. There's a breath that seems to last forever. It passes, and then a TV above the door with the locks on it turns on at the end of the hall. On it is an image of Hannah. She is unconscious on the floor of a dirty old basement, her bow broken at her feet and her right ankle twisted at an incorrect angle. As the screen lingers on the shot, you hear a voice pumped through several speakers in the room. Little Hannah fell down a hole. You think you are heroes, but you are just children. To save your friend, you must face your fears. Each room is designed for one of you. Face your fear and win a key. Only with all 6 keys will sad Hannah go free. But cheat, and the darkness will feed upon you. The screen goes blank, and the voice says, let us begin. The door with the number 1 on it opens up.
Who do you guys think is number 1?
Facing our fears? What, are they going to throw some, like, little spiders at us or something? Come on. This is ridiculous.
I hear spiders, and I'm not very happy about that. I was like, that would actually be scary.
I hear spiders.
There's nothing to be scared of for spiders. They're just arachnids. They're most likely not going to hurt you.
But they could hurt me.
But they probably won't.
They're
You're a bigger
creepy.
threat.
Can we
All
stop
right.
talking about spiders, please?
You know what? I'll go first. I don't think that there's anything that could scare me that much.
Let's see
And
how
I'll come
he
out
gets
of here
this.
with a key or whatever, and then it'll be fine. I'll show you guys.
Or do we all just wait here for you to come back? Is he going to make us go one at a time?
Well, we don't know. He has to go in.
I'm gonna go in.
Luke, you enter the room. It is dark, with only a single light in it that sways back and forth, casting light about the room. The door behind you stays open. Inside the room is a 10-foot tall cylinder that is 5 feet in diameter, and as you approach it, a light clicks on underneath it and illuminates the chamber. There is a door on the front of the cylinder, and taped to it, on the top of the cylinder, you can see a mechanism with a hose going off in another direction behind it. Taped to the front of the door is an envelope with Alaya written on it.
I'm gonna awkwardly shuffle back out of the room and be like, okay, I guess I can't go first because
As you leave, give me a perception check.
sure. 5.
You don't know where from in this room, but you clearly hear the sounds of breathing.
Alaya, there's something in there. I think it's for you. Your name's on it, and I hear breathing. I don't know. This is kind of weird.
You
Luke.
are now in the room. Alaya, are you going to join him?
Luke, don't try to pull this on me. Come on.
Dude,
Brave it.
I'm not even kidding right now. Look, that thing has your name on it. And don't you hear it?
Do I?
Alaya, you enter the room and nothing happens. Both of you are now completely in the room with the door open. Roll me a perception check.
19.
As the light sways the naked bulb back and forth, it washes over the far corner of the room, and you notice the dark, wavy-haired dwarven girl cowering in the corner crying.
Luke, do you see that thing, right?
How did I not see that before?
It was in the darkness, very much so.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
As you address her, she says,
Pierre cheated. Some darkness took him and he was gone. It was my task. It had my name on it. It was just stupid water. And I couldn't do it because he thought he could, not me.
You're an Argonaut? We're looking to save you guys.
Yeah, I'm an Argonaut. Can you just help me get Pierre back?
What do you mean Pierre cheated?
The task was for me, but he did it instead. I don't know what he was thinking. He cast some spell to make himself look like me.
Luke, take her out. I'll do this room.
Yeah, I got her. Come with me.
Okay.
Alaya, do me a favor. Roll me an insight check, please. In fact, everyone can roll an insight check right now.
Including those not in the room?
Mm-hmm.
19 again.
You're not going to need much. You're not going to need more than that. Anybody that rolls over a 15 is going to realize this, that when you heard the voice speaking, while it mentioned cheating, it didn't mention that you couldn't help. And based on what you've just learned from Iris, you can definitely be in the room with the person who's attempting the task.
Okay, then we can all stick together while we do this, guys. This doesn't have to be something that we do by ourselves, right?
If we're facing our fears, some moral support could be helpful.
Yeah. Get in here,
Yeah,
guys. Let's do
spiders
this.
are not scary. I'll help you with
Can
that.
you stop about the spiders? Shut up,
I'm
please.
just saying.
You could stop just saying for 2 seconds.
If we
Thanks.
pretend the spiders don't exist, they don't exist. Stop talking about them.
There aren't spiders in here, guys.
There
Come
could
on.
be.
Look,
Get in
it's
here.
just an empty room, and I don't think we have a lot of time to find Pierre. Okay, so let's do this.
The cylinder stands in front of all of you. Machinery and mechanism at the top, illuminated from underneath, with a closed door, and a note, an envelope with Alaya's name on it still. At this point, also, Iris has gotten up and kind of, she's dazed, but she's joining your group. You're not quite sure the state she's in.
I don't like Iris that much, but this is a little worrying. Like, I just thought this was some funny horror movie stuff, but now I'm seeing Iris and I'm worried.
I'm going to walk up to Iris because I have no reason to not like her. I've never interacted with her. I'm be like, hey, what's your favorite animal?
Snow leopard. Why?
I'm going to cast a minor illusion of a snow leopard, like cuddling next to her to try and calm her down.
Warm my heart. Take inspiration for using your magic to make someone feel better.
Okay.
Thanks, but I think we should focus on finding Pierre right now.
All right, Iris, so how does this thing work?
I don't know exactly. I just saw I had this task. I had to like stand in this like tank of water. I don't like water. I guess Pierre thought that he could help me or something. He tried to do the task for me, and then suddenly there was just like this dark, I don't know what it was, and then it took him, I guess, or like wrapped itself around him, and then he just disappeared.
I'm gonna be sick.
Do you think he's dead or?
Okay, no, don't.
Let's
Luna,
not
don't
think
say
about
that. Don't say that, please.
Okay, sorry.
Just, it's gonna be fine.
I just want to know.
No, but nobody's dead. Nobody's dead. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna go into the
Drowning,
tank.
Alaya?
Huh?
Scared of drowning?
Laya, the thing on the door, it's an envelope.
Oh, I grab it and I open it to see what's inside.
All right, Alaya, check the chat. This is what it says. You are free to read it aloud, or you can keep it to yourself.
Is everything okay?
Alaya?
Yeah.
What's it say?
Welcome to your game. The godchild of air shall face his fear of another element. You are not immortal, and to save Hannah, you must enter the chamber to get your key. Will the conceited one risk himself? The choice is yours.
And at this point, we're going to take just a small mechanics break to teach you all about the willpower mechanic. This is something I've created, homebrewed, and it works like this. Each of you currently has a stock of willpower. This is how much you can fight your own fear. Of course, my notes have disappeared on this. There it is. Your willpower starting number is your constitution modifier plus your wisdom or your intelligence modifier. Your maximum willpower equals twice that number. You can lose willpower every time you fail a fear check, and I will tell you when you're making one and when you lost it. You gain 2 points of willpower every time one of you successfully completes one of your tasks. If you were to reach 0 in your willpower, you fall into a state of absolute terror. This means you've fallen on the ground or clutched yourself and become completely incapacitated. Every turn, you must make a fear save. It requires 2 saves to break your first falling into absolute terror. Every time you do after that, it increases by 1 save. You cannot break your terror until those saves are made, no matter how long it takes you. A critical roll will give you 2 saves. A critical fail will add a required save to your list. If you have not fallen into a state of absolute terror, one of your companions can help you, any one of your companions or multiple companions. What this does is it removes one of your required saves. We'll go over this as we get into the system a little bit more, but I wanted to give it an introduction to you. You've all done the math on this. This has been introduced to you already in our preparation time. So, Alaya, you stand on the threshold of this container with the door open and the card in your hand, having read it out loud.
I am praying it is anything but I don't even know what to call it, a drowning test. I'm hoping it says another element. I'm hoping I'd rather get burned to death if that's what it costs. But I walk into it.
To even enter the chamber, I need you to make your first fear save. This is a wisdom or intelligence save.
Do I get to? Okay.
Yeah, so you add whatever your save bonus is to that. You choose wisdom or intelligence.
16.
You save. So you steel yourself, open the door, walk into the chamber. Once the door is closed, you hear the sound of a vacuum seal being made. Water begins to fall into the chamber from the mechanism above you. Make an athletics or a constitution save not to choke on this water as it's pouring on your head.
Um, 21.
You totally managed to put yourself up against the wall, get your hands above you. You are protecting yourself quite well from this water. The rest of you, as you watch, if you have an idea as to how you want to help Alaya, you can shout out and share it. But at this point, time is going to dilate a little, and Alaya's going to get our focus. But again, if you come up with an idea or you want to help, all you have to do is shout it out.
Could you, as Mr. DMD, tell us if something would be considered cheating?
I will establish the idea that you already know for sure that cheating is doing the task for someone else, and you've insighted enough to understand that they must complete the basic element of the task themselves. Beyond that, you don't know. I will tell you this: if you're bordering on it, you will get a warning from the voice above.
Guys, do you think we could maybe like cut the hose or something?
As you say this, you hear a sound effect come over the speakers.
Guess not.
I can breathe underwater. I can do something.
No, I'm supposed to do this myself.
But
Can we hear him in the chamber?
You can hear him, and as he says this, the water begins to reach the level of your waist because it's filling very quickly. I need you to make another fear save, intelligence or wisdom, to fight it off.
Rolling really high today. 20.
You can fear the fear welling in you, but you push it down. As the water continues to rise, you begin to float. Roll me an athletics or a constitution save to tread water.
15.
Everyone in the room can roll a perception check. You saved, by the way. Didn't want to leave you hanging there. I will say that this is not very well hidden. So if you rolled over a 10, you're going to notice this. As you begin to tread water, Alaya kind of putting your hands against the wall, trying to set yourself, but it's too slick. You can't do it. You notice across from you, right above the door, a timer turns on. It's a red 30-second stop clock, and it has not started yet. The water continues to rise. It creeps up and it threatens to fill the tank. Make another fear save.
Two.
That is a failure. You're going to lose 1 willpower point and have disadvantage on your next roll. As you start to feel the fear well in your chest and the water overtakes you. You get one last gulp of air as the tank fills. Make an athletics or a constitution save for a final breath.
4.
You fail. You're now choking on a mouthful of water. All of you can see this.
I am banging on the door for help. I'm trying to make it clear. I did not get that breath in.
The timer has started. It's counting down.
You got this, Elias. Stop trying to breathe.
What is he supposed to do?
If he's gonna choke, he tries to breathe.
I have to break the glass. I have to break it.
No, you can't break it, or else you won't
Break the glass.
Let me go in there. I can breathe.
That'll be cheating.
I run up to the tube and I kind of like tap it a little bit. And I'm just like, stop struggling. You idiot, stop.
You're at 15 seconds, halfway through. Roll a fear save. The oxygen deprivation is getting to your brain.
15.
You fail again, lose another willpower point, and you'll have disadvantage on this next roll. You struggle to hold your breath. Make 1 constitution save. You are now currently drowning.
11.
You fail again. Your lungs are now filling with air, but the timer runs out at the same exact time. The tank empties quickly in a flush. Out the bottom, water fills the bottom of the room. As Alaya coughs, you hear a clang. And next to him on the ground of the chamber is a key.
I
Grab
lost
the key.
I lost 2 willpower. Doesn't that mean I'm in like
How much did you have to start with?
I'm pretty sure 2. So
Then as the key falls down next to Elia, he falls into a state of absolute terror. Having just almost drowned it, he's gone fetal in the bottom of the tank.
Come on, already?
Can I help on first?
Yes, you can help. So Stevie throws open the door, and what do you do to try to help Elia?
I'm gonna use some minor illusions, maybe some things to cheer him up. Do I have to know what something looks like to cast a minor illusion of it?
No, you have to have an idea of what it should look like to cast it, but yeah.
Minor illusion of his mom.
Got a basic idea of what Elia looks like, and he's in such a terrified state that I think anything that kind of looks like mom is going to help. Elia, go ahead and roll. You only need 1 because you're being assisted. Willpower save. This is a fear save again, wisdom or intelligence.
8.
You are still stuck in a state of absolute terror. Stevie is attempting to help you, but even this kind of fake image of your mother is not enough to pull you out. You're still drenched to the bone in your clothes, and the feeling of that water on your flesh is still causing you to be afraid.
I get rid of his mom and try one of his brother.
So again, a smaller kind of, it looks like a mini version of Elia appears in front of him. And Elia, you can make another save.
8.
Elia is racked with the fear of having just barely survived, almost drowning. And even though you know that he can pull through, if he can manage it, he's still not able to come out of it. Anyone else can attempt to help also, but you can't take away the 1 save he's going to have to make.
Can I take off my cloak and wrap it in him? See, warm, not water. Water cold, this is warm.
Definitely. Stevie continues to try to help Elia. Make another save, Elia.
Oh, it dropped. 14.
Elia, between Stevie drying you off and the images of your brother and your mother, you're able to pull your brain out of this fear. Take a deep breath. You notice the key sitting next to you. Everyone gains 2 willpower points for Elia having succeeded, as his own success bolsters your feeling like you can do this.
I'm gonna look at the key next to Elia and then look up in the vague direction of the voice and say, I'm gonna kill you.
There is 0 reaction from the building.
I grab the key and, shaking a lot, I get to my feet and I go, all right, next room.
You hear a click, and the door across the hall from room number 1 with the number 2 written on it opens on its own. You all going?
Yeah.
Let's go, guys.
I'm comforting Elia because he's the one I'm closest to. So I'm kind of next to him, patting his back.
Moon Poison is with you as you move forward into the next room. With the completion of the first room, you now have a beginning of an understanding of what is expected of you. You walk into this room, and in the center of the room is a steel table. On it is an industrial-sized stew pot with the lid on it. Every few moments, the lid rattles. Next to the pot is an envelope. The envelope is addressed to Zamora.
Luna, I told you there were spiders in here.
What?
It's got to be spiders.
No.
Can you both just shut up? You're not helping, please. I walk up to the envelope as my hands are literally shaking because I'm so scared of what's about to happen. But I try to hold it in because I don't look like a wimp to anyone ever. So I go up to the envelope and I read the letter.
Your note stands in front of you.
Okay. It says, "Welcome to your game. There's a key at the bottom of this pot. A key you need to save Hannah. Can you retrieve it, or will it remain theirs? The choice is yours." Well, I'm saving Hannah, so there's nothing else I can do.
Go ahead.
I look at the pot, and is there a lid on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I open the lid and I look in it.
You open the lid, and in the light of the bald lamp, you can see the surface of the pot is crawling. Inside it are various bugs, including millipedes that slither through the pot, Madagascar hissing cockroaches who constantly hiss within the pot, and other various bugs you can't make out. The pot, as you look at it, is a little deeper than your arm, and you know that if you were to reach into the bottom of it, it is going to require to put almost your entire arm into the pot. Stevie, I need you to make a fear save.
That's fair. $15.
Is that a 15?
15.
Yeah, you save. Zamora, you face this pot of bugs. What do you do?
I close the lid and I turn around and I look at them and I'm like, I look straight at Luna and I said, "You said there was no spiders.
Those are
Guess
spiders.
what's in that pot?"
Those are not spiders. Spiders are arachnids. Spiders are not
arachnids, insects, they're the same thing. Okay, not
Luna?
everything has to be super smart all the time. Okay, Luna, so if you can just
You're right. I'm sorry.
Luna, you're not helping. I grab Zamora by the shoulders and I'm like, "Zamora, you can do this. I was literally just drowning in there. It's going to take a lot, but I know you can do it. You're the strongest person I know. You can do this." And then I twist her around and I shove her towards the pot.
You don't have to reach into it. You could try and throw it against the wall and just run.
That's a good idea.
Okay. I pick up the pot.
As you reach for the pot, roll a fear save. Wisdom or intelligence.
A 19.
You save. You're able to grab onto the pot now. The lid is still on it. It rattles pretty regularly now. You've excited the creatures inside of it. What are you going to do? You haven't picked it up. It's still sitting on the table.
I have tears just slowly rolling down my face and literally shaking. So I take all my energy and I try to like scoot it off the edge to the point where it like tilts over. So hopefully all the insects will fall out, but the key still stays.
Roll me I wasn't expecting this choice. Roll me a sleight of hand to see if you're able to keep the pot on the table.
A 4.
You start to push it over and it just topples onto the ground. Both Zamora and Stevie need to make a fear save right now, as these creatures rush out from the pot that has just fallen.
16.
14.
Both of you save.
Can I hop up onto the table? The bugs are not there.
Yeah, you can most definitely hop up onto the table. The pot has dumped over. There are insects and bugs of all different kinds, no arachnids, streaming about the room. The light in here is not very good. You cannot instantly see a key.
I'm like hyperventilating at this point because it's like I can't see the key and all I see is just crawly, just disgusting little things on the ground.
You can roll a perception check to try and see the key.
Cool. Not 20.
Nat 20. You see that it is gotten caught on the back half of a millipede and is being pulled across the room.
I turn around to the group and I say, "I hate this school. I hate it so much." I turn back around. I take off my cowboy hat and I try to like swat it away from the rest of the bugs to try to isolate it, hopefully. So like
Luna,
roll
you're
it
not
off.
Luna, you're not scared of bugs. Pick it up for her so she just has to pull the key off.
No, I'm not. So I try to pick it up.
There's no problem. You walk right over it. You don't have to make a fear check. It's just crawling across the ground. You pick it up, and its legs are dangling, and the key is caught in its legs. And you walk over to Zamora with this bug. As this bug approaches you, Zamora, make a fear check, intelligence or wisdom save. I'm assuming Stevie is like all the way in the hallway at this point.
It's a dirty 20.
No, I'm still on the table.
You were like, I'm not going to let this bug defeat me. And you are now solidly ready to reach out and grab that key. You can roll me either, if you don't care about the bug's life, a strength check, or a dexterity check if you care about the bug's life. Not the movie.
A strength check? Oh, 6.
It's stuck in those legs and is not coming off. You can roll me and now that you're struggling with this bug and your hands are almost on the bug, you can roll me another fear save.
14.
Yes, you saved for your fear. That was very close. And you can attempt again to break this key free.
I try to break it free, but I cannot touch the bug, so I kind of swat Luna's hand and
Smack it. All right, roll me another strength check.
15.
You hit that bug, it goes flying across the room, smashes against the wall, and the key clangs against the ground. You have now freed the key.
Well, that works.
I go up and I kind of like pick up the key. I kind of step on the key and I drag it all the way back to wherever the bugs aren't, like out the door. And then I pick it up once I'm outside the room.
As Zamora pulls the key free, the door across the hall next to door number 1, marked with a 3 on it, opens with an electronic hum and click. Now, there was some conversation amongst our group chat here about going over. I can give us one more and do a bonus length episode right now if you're all interested in it. I just need a thumbs up from everyone. Probably be about another 15 minutes to get us halfway through your challenges. Perfect. Let's go. We're going to go bonus length episode. All right. You all move into the third room. To the right, directly inside it, is a note hanging from a string suspended from the ceiling. The note has Moon's name typed on it. Aside from an overhead light shining down on the card, there is no other light in the room. Moon, I didn't. What are you doing? Or anyone else?
Mr. DMD, look in chat.
I did. I was trying not to look in our chat. They're getting goofy.
No, I think Moon is serious.
Oh, okay. Then go, Moon. Go quickly. I didn't realize it was you that had the problem. Dear.
Can we retcon that? Go to someone else.
These are written in a very specific way, unfortunately, so I can't just bounce.
We're just gonna tough it out.
Okay, we're just gonna tough it out. Okay. All right, Moon.
Fear check for Moon's actor right now.
I'll give Moon a second to collect herself. All right. So this card remains suspended from the ceiling on a string attached to a light, and it's right inside the door with your name on it.
I take it. I think maybe it's for Luna.
You could only hope.
They mixed us up. It happens all the time.
So, welcome to your game. There is a key on the wall, the other end of the room. A key you need to save Hannah. Your new power is your weakness. Can you overcome it? Foul or fair, the feathers will fall. The choice is yours.
After a moment, a spotlight turns on, illuminating the key all the way on the opposite end of the room, about 20 feet away. Then, sequentially, a series of overhead lights pop on, each with a loud sound to accompany them. The space is filled with bright white light, and when everyone's eyes adjust, you can see that above the room, about 7 feet up, just under the ceiling, sit dozens of birds of different species. Some pigeons, some ravens and crows, and even a few falcons and hawks sit perched up there. Moon, the second you see this, you feel fear wash over you, emanating from poison. Make me a wisdom or intelligence fear save, please. Yeah, you save. You're able to push poison's fear out of your brain, and for the first time ever, you realize just how deep this connection between you and her are, because you have never been afraid of birds in your life. And as you all look at the room, you notice that the floor is littered with shards of broken glass, empty cans, dry leaves, all things that are intended to make noise as you walk upon them.
Okay. I kind of laugh because in this moment I don't know what to do but laugh because I've never been afraid of birds before. I've never understood being afraid of birds, so I'm kind of just like I don't know what to do, so I attempt to take a step forward.
You are allowed to do that, obviously. If you're going to do it and you don't want to alert the birds, I need you to make a stealth check.
Okay.
Stevie, that is not going to be a viable option. It's a different spell.
17.
Yeah, you save. So you get about 5 feet into the room. You're about a quarter into the room. The rest of you are all outside of this room because just rushing into it could cause a problem. But if you've got ideas on how to help or anything else for Moon, you can do that. If nothing else, then you are now standing underneath a bunch of birds. Moon, I need you to make another fear save.
Three.
You lose 1 point of willpower. By the way, at this point, because of Zamora's win on the last one, you now have gained another 2 points. Remembering that you can't go over your maximum. You lose a point of willpower as you feel the fear start to kind of overwhelm you. You can't push it back into poison. She's actually clutched around your arm in fear.
Can I attempt to keep going?
Yes, you definitely can.
Okay.
If you are continuing to try to stealth, though, as you feel this fear, you will have disadvantage on your stealth check. Because the fear is distracting you from being able to function properly.
I'm gonna say to Moon, like kind of whispery so that I don't alert the birds too much. Come on, they're just birds. Who's afraid of birds?
Snakes are.
Don't you have a big bird snake thing? Doesn't poison up?
Thanks, Elia.
Wait,
You're not the snake. It's fine.
do I know how Moon's magic works? Because I feel like after spending time with her a lot, I feel like I would have some sort of understanding of it.
Yeah, I would say you've got at least a basic understanding of her magic.
Do you think I would... Maybe this is kind of clicking to me as to why she's scared of it.
I think based on your understanding of her and her connection and your friendship, I'd say that's a call you can make. You understand that this fear is coming as much from her as it is through poison.
I'm gonna try to go over to Moon
And she has poison with her, right?
Yes.
I think if this is poison, maybe poison is projecting this fear. Maybe I could comfort poison. I don't know. Like I could just
Get
like
poison out of the room.
I was just about to say, is there a way we can get poison out of the situation?
Yes, I was thinking I could like stroke poison a little or just take.
That is very intelligent, and I will allow you to do that. It will make the fear saves easier, but it does not sever the bond. So you would still be making them, but they would be easier for you.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go over her and I'm kind of like, can I take poison?
Poison's like gripped my arm right now, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to soothe her.
Okay. So I basically try and calm poison down with as little power I have, and hopefully she kind of like untenses, because right now she feels like when you're at the doctor's office and they take your, your
roll me an animal handling check with advantage because she's bonded to you to see if you can calm her down.
19.
Yeah, you calm her down. You know her, and you know kind of the tricks needed to calm her down. So you get her calm. She kind of slithers off a little into your hand, and she's kind of just perched there. Her wings are kind of like covering her eyes. She's curled up into the tiniest little ball you've ever seen her.
Luna's with me, right?
Mm-hmm. Luna's made it there, no
I'm
problem.
I'm gonna take poison.
Yeah, I kind of pass her because poison trusts Luna, I'd assume.
Gently holds.
And are you going to try and take poison out of the room?
Yes, I'm kind of maybe whispering things to her, try to like stroke her a little bit, like it's okay.
Luna, maybe you should take poison to the bug room. Don't snakes like bugs?
Depends on the snake. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're the flump here, so.
I mean, I could try that just to get her as far away from the birds.
She is hungry, so.
Yeah, you take her in there, and she seems distracted. Like this is helping, and it's going to help Moon in the other room seriously. Moon, the key is still 15 feet away from you.
Okay, I attempt to walk forward some more.
Wait, Moon. Duck, I have an idea.
I duck.
No, those are ravens.
I know, I'm just saying Moon needs to get down on the ground.
Yeah.
I minor illusion some bird seed right outside the room and see if the birds all leave.
As you do this, about half of the birds leave, like all of the pigeons and all of the crows leave, and they're trying to peck at the invisible bird seed, but the falcons and the eagles are still in the room.
I helped.
It did. And if you hadn't already just helped so dramatically, it would have helped even more. So you attempt to move further into the room. Give me another fear save. This will be with advantage because the person fearing it that's connected to you is in another room.
19.
Yeah, definitely safe. And with fewer birds in the room, the stealth check here is going to be easier than it would have been if they were all in the room. So go ahead and make me the stealth check to continue deeper into the room.
13.
No problem. You're about halfway into this room at this point.
Can I just keep going?
Roll me another fear check to see if you can move. Again with advantage.
1.
You're going to lose a willpower point as you move deeper. You walk directly underneath a falcon, and it peers down at you. And you felt this connection between poison before, where it's as if she's seeing through your eyes. And the second you feel it and you lock eyes with the falcon, you feel that fear creep through your psychic connection into you and overwhelm you. You're just going to make this next stealth check with, it would have been advantage because there's fewer birds. I'm going to give you disadvantage because you have just failed the fear. So it's going to be a regular stealth check. 1 die. Just walking everyone else through the math on that.
13.
You accidentally step on a can, which you thought was just a piece of glass, but there was an illusion that happened there, and you spook the birds. And now all of the birds of prey in the room are flying about, screaming and cawing. You have 5 feet left to go to get the keys.
I apparently only know minor illusion because I'm in a minor illusion some mice scurrying from the room since they're birds of prey.
You can minor illusion like a small little patch of like a few mice just hanging out in the door. I'm going to say that a good half of these birds of prey swoop down and try and attack these mice, and now they're in the hallway, flying around the hallway. Some of them actually fly out the door and get free. Moon has now fallen at 0. No, that you can't possibly have 0. You would have had 4 extra going into the room. You've only lost 2 at this point. So you're good. Because you get the whole team got 2 for every success so far. So you have at least a bonus of 4.
It said it can't go over it though, right?
It can't go over your maximum. So whatever you're starting with, you've got.
Okay, I'm good.
You started with
Never
2.
mind.
You still got 2 more. You're good.
Yep, I'm good.
Got lucky. You've got 5 feet left to go. And because there's now so many fewer birds in here, I am going to not require your fear check because there's so few. So you just can literally run over, grab that key, and run out the room. And thus you have successfully completed this room. Congratulations.
Nice job.
I know
Moon.
the moon's good. I'm still in the bug room.
At this point, the birds also all start to kind of make their way out the door because they realized that that's a way out. And the door actually the initial door you came in actually reopened after the challenge was set. So like you could have left. You still could leave if you decide you want to. As Moon clears the door to room 3, key in hand, the door across the hall, room numbered 4, hums and clicks open. This would be a place to stop if we didn't want to go to 7:30, which would be an extra half hour for a bonus episode. But I know that is late for many of us. So I'm sure the chat is going, keep going, keep going.
Moon has to do something.
Yes. But Moon's now done with this challenge, so if Moon needed to go off camera for a minute, she could. Looking at the next room, this one could be about 15 minutes. It could be longer, depending on how the person attacks it. What are our thoughts, group? We're already in bonus episode length. And if anyone's looking at the chat, let me know what the chat's thinking. Stevie's got to eat. I'm thinking that's about right. All right. Cool.
Yes, that absolutely wants us to, but we have biological.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up here because it is the halfway point, is the perfectly logical point. So I'm going to wrap us up. I've got my wrap up written, and we'll come back here. This is actually a perfect place for us to pick up and do an actual, mostly traditional length next week. So let me get to my wrap up. So as Moon, having overcome her challenge and her fear, steps in the hallway, and you all look into the darkness of this next room, fear begins to creep up in each of you again, knowing that you have to face 3 more challenges in this house. And now that we've reached the end of the evening, you will join us next week, please, for the exciting conclusion of Tricks for Treaters. Will our heroes survive their fears or be consumed by them? Who is behind this vile torture, and will help come in time? Tune in next week to discover all of this and more on Argonauts Awoken. Thank you very much for watching us and staying with us.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell.
See you next week. Tune in.